Hello students. So students, in the previous class in the chapter that is chemical reaction and equation, we were talking about the different characteristics of the chemical reaction. And we were talking about the characteristic in which we had discussed that evolution of gas, formation of a precipitate, as well as change in color. All these characteristics actually it tells about a chemical reaction. So, if in a reaction, if there is an evolution of a gas occur, or if a precipitation formed, or if there is a change in the color, then we will say that here a chemical reaction takes place. So we have seen in the first case, that is the evolution of a gas, and in which we had discussed that when a reaction takes place, any of the gas, if it is released, then that will be a characteristic of a chemical reaction. In this, students, we have seen that there are reactions in which gases like that of a hydrogen gas is released. Like we have seen, if suppose we have taken zinc granules and added it into the dilute sulfuric acid, then there is a release of a hydrogen gas. Or when the magnesium reacts with the hydrochloric acid, then also there is a release of a hydrogen gas. How we are able to detect the presence of this gas, or we are able to confirm that yes, hydrogen gas is released? So with the help of the confirmation test, that for hydrogen, from wherever it is evolving, if you bring the burning splinter near to it or near to the test tube or the flask from which it is evolving, then it will produce pop sound, which proves that the gas which is evolving through this reaction is a hydrogen gas. We have also seen that there are the reactions in which the carbon dioxide released. So when the sodium carbonate react with that of the hydrochloric acid, then there is a formation of a sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. How we are able to detect the presence of a carbon dioxide? So carbon dioxide, when it is passed to the lime water, it will turn the lime water milky, which proves that the gas which is releasing from it is a carbon dioxide gas. So you see that from this we have understood that in a reaction, gases are also involved. Second one, formation of a precipitate. How precipitate is formed? So there are reactions in which after the reaction occurs, there is an insoluble solid produces which settle at the bottom of the test tube. And with the help of that, we can say that here a chemical reaction takes place, and due to which a precipitate, which is an insoluble form, and a soluble one or the liquid remain present above to that of the precipitate is there. So even in the class 9th also we had done an experiment, and that is of a barium chloride and a sodium sulfate. So when sodium sulfate, aqueous solution of a sodium sulfate react with the aqueous solution of a barium chloride, so there is a formation of a white precipitate, and that is of a barium sulfate. Not only this, if suppose we have taken lead nitrate and potassium iodide, when they react with each other, there is a formation of a lead iodide, which is a yellow precipitate. So you see that there is a formation of a precipitate occur in the reaction. Finally, change in the color also. So when the chemical reaction happens, there is a change in color also occurs. Like, if suppose we will take an example of a potassium permanganate, which is purple in color. So if in the potassium permanganate, we add with the help of a drop of citric acid or oxalic acid, so it will turn its color from purple to colorless. So with the help of a dropper, when you drop the citric acid, oxalic acid into that of the gaminophore, into the permanganate solution, then you will find that after adding the few drops of the citric acid, it will turn to colorless. The same thing happened with the potassium dichromate. So formula of the potassium dichromate is K2Cr2O7. Here K is plus charge, students, and Cr2O7, that is a dichromate, is -2, and this is because of that there is a formation of this compound happens. Okay, you know that if it is a plus charge, so valency will be 1, and if it is a minus charge, so valency will be 2. So when they crisscross each other, there is a formation of the formula, that is K2Cr2O7. This is what? This is the chromate. Okay, and this is potassium. So we will say potassium dichromate. Okay, this potassium dichromate is basically orange in color. And when you passes the sulfur dioxide to this potassium dichromate, then this, after passing the sulfur dioxide to potassium dichromate, here you will find the change in the color happen. It will changes its color from orange to green. So you can see that here also color changes. Before we go further, even in the previous one when we were talking about the formation of a precipitate, you have seen that before that, when we have taken the lead nitrate and potassium iodide, their color is not so specific. It means they are colorless only. Okay, when you make the aqueous solution, but as you mixes them together, there is a formation of a lead iodide, which is a yellow precipitate. So you can see that there not only the formation of precipitate happens, but change in color also occurs. Okay, so if in a reaction or if color changes after the reactant gets converted into product, we will say that yes, it is showing the characteristic of a chemical reaction. Moving on and see the next one, and that is change in temperature. In the change in temperature, students, when the reaction occurs after the formation of a product, chances is there that heat will be evolved or heat will be absorbed. So, when the heat is produced, at that time, the test tube in which the reaction is going on, or the boiling tube or the flask, whatever you have taken for performing the chemical reaction, you will find that it will become hot, and which proves that after the reaction, the temperature increases, temperature rises. The second one, just opposite to that for performing the reaction, they need heat. So they used to absorb the heat. And as the heat will be absorbed, so there will be less amount of heat will be produced. And ultimately, the temperature will lowers down. Okay, so in the first case, the temperature rises. In the second case, the temperatures, it downs. Okay, so this is what? This is the change in the temperature. It means in the reactant case and formation of the product, there is a change in temperature. Either the temperature increases or it decreases. So if in a chemical reaction, if the temperature increases or temperature decreases, then we will say that chemical reaction takes place. Okay. So we can write it here that in a chemical reaction, either the temperature rises, or lowers down. Okay, so that is what? That is the change in the temperature, and which comes in the characteristic of a chemical reaction. Now let us see an example. On the basis of that we are able to understand the concept. So if you will mix water and a calcium oxide, then what happens? There is a formation of a slate line, and when the reaction takes place, a lot of heat energy will be produced. It means here wherever the reaction is performed, when you touch that particular flask, you will find that it is very hot, which proves that heat is produced. And if heat is produced, so temperature rises. So that will also comes in the change in temperature. Okay, so we can understand here that here we will take a beaker and we will add the calcium oxide and water slowly, carefully, and finally when you mix it, you will find that the temperature starts increasing, and when the product forms, a lot of heat energy is produced. Okay, so we can write here the reaction here. Calcium oxide when it reacts with water. This calcium oxide is in the form of a solid. Then there is a formation of a calcium hydroxide. Okay, calcium hydroxide is released, which is the aqueous solution plus heat is also released. Calcium hydroxide, students. Okay, now see. We use another term for it, and that is quicklime. And here it is also called as slaked lime. So, when in a quicklime water is added, then there is a formation of a slaked lime, that is a calcium hydroxide, and this calcium hydroxide, after formation of it, then production of a lot of heat energy. So, this is the change in temperature. Okay, although we also call it as an exothermic reaction, we'll discuss this about later. In that also the heat is produced. Till that you just understand that here heat is produced, it means temperature rises. So this is the first example in which the calcium oxide react with the water to form the slaked lime and heat. The second case that we can take, students, so right now we have seen also zinc granules. When we have taken the zinc granules and added to that of the dilute sulfuric acid, there is not only the evolution of gases but also the heat energy produced. So, Zn will react with that of a dilute sulfuric acid, formation of a ZnSO4 plus hydrogen gas plus heat. Okay, so this is also an example of the change in the temperature. So in both the cases, the thing that we have seen here, that temperature increases. How do we come to know about that? Temperature increases as heat is liberated. Okay, as heat is liberated, so we can say the temperature increases. Moving on and see the next example in which the temperature decreases as heat is absorbed. So, if we take an example of a barium hydroxide. So, when barium hydroxide is mixed with ammonium chloride, there is a formation of a barium chloride, ammonia, and here for the reaction to take place, they need energy. Okay, so they used to absorb the heat to complete the reaction or the reaction to take place into the product. So when the heat is already absorbed from the reactant so that the reaction can take place, so here the temperature decreases. So the flask in which you are performing this reaction, when you touch it, the temperature is less or it feels cold. So which proves that here the temperature lowers down after the reaction takes place. So we can write it here. The reaction is barium hydroxide. Barium hydroxide is in the form of an aqueous solution. when this barium hydroxide react with the ammonium chloride. Okay, so then not only this but absorption of heat also occurs. Okay. Then there is a formation of, I am writing the products here students, okay, I hope you will understand. So the product which is formed here, it is BaCl2, we will write BaCl2 as barium chloride, which is in the form of aqueous solution plus NH3, which is also called as ammonia, which is a gas. Okay, so it is in the form of a gas plus water. Okay, H2O, which is in the form of a liquid. So when this reaction takes place, here the temperature lowers down. And the reason the temperature decreases is the heat is absorbed here. So already, the reactant, when they react together, they absorb the heat so that the formation of product occurs. So the temperature decreases. So we can write it here that temperature decreases as heat is absorbed. Temperature decreases as heat is absorbed. Okay, so this is all about the change in temperature, how the temperature rises after the formation of product, how the temperature decreases after formation of the product. Moving on and see the last characteristic of the chemical reaction, and that is change in state. Change in state, students. That is change in state. Change in state. Now you see, students, that there are some of the reactions which take place when while reacting they are at a particular state, but after the formation of the product the state gets changed. A very good example of the change in the state, when we talk about the state, here we are talking about the solid state, liquid state and that of the gaseous. So any changes take place from the reactant to that of the product in its state, that will also determine the characteristic of a chemical reaction. A very familiar example that we can use here is the formation of water. Formation of water. So, for the formation of a water, two gases react together. First one is hydrogen gas. This hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas to form water. To form water. This water is in the liquid state. So you can see here that when the two gaseous substances they react together, there is a formation of a liquid product, and that is water. So you can see that there is a change in a state also take place in this chemical reaction. So we will say that this is what? This is an example of a change in the state. Now, any other example, student? Yes, burning of a candle wax. burning of a candle. So when the wax burns, formation of water vapor, and carbon dioxide take place. So you can see here that the wax is what? It is a solid one. And when it burns, what happened? Through burning, there is a formation of a water vapor which is in the state of liquid. Always consisting of they will include it into the liquid only. That is the small water droplets, and plus carbon dioxide CO2, which is in the form of a gas. So you can see here that although this wax is in the solid state, the product that is formed due to the burning of this candle wax is the water vapor, which is in the liquid state, and carbon dioxide, which is in the form of a gaseous state. So this is what, student, this is the example of the changing state. Changing state means that conversion of the reactant from one state to the another when the product is formed. So the state of the reactant is different from the state of the product. This happens as the chemical reaction takes place, and due to which there is a change in the state itself. Okay, so I hope you all have understood that what are the different characteristics of the chemical reaction. Now, what kind of a question can be asked from these students? So, the question can be asked in a 5 marks that what are the different characteristics? So, you have to write each of them with the help of a reaction. These reactions are really very important because the reactions can, on the basis of the reactions also the question can be asked that reaction is given and asked that what kind of a characteristic it is showing, then you have to write and explain the characteristic here. Okay, so all these characteristics with reaction you have to do the practice. Now here one more thing is there. So we have seen that the different reactions they use to show the different types of a characteristic. It means it can show the evolution of gas, it can show the formation of a precipitate, it can show the change in color or change in state or change in temperature. Is it possible that a reaction can show 2 or more characteristics simultaneously? Okay, or 2 or more characteristics or 2 characteristics together? Yes. You see, when we were talking about the first case, that is the zinc granules only. So we have taken the zinc granules and added to that of the sulfuric acid. So what was the reaction? Let me write the reaction again. Sorry. So we have taken the zinc granules and it reacts with the dilute sulfuric acid. And there is the formation of a zinc sulfate. Okay. Now this zinc sulfate, after that there is a formation of a hydrogen gas. Okay. Hydrogen gas here plus heat. So you can see here that is, first of all here from the hydrogen gas we are getting the first characteristic, and that is evolution of gas. This is a one kind of a characteristic of a chemical reaction, and due to the production of the heat, it is quite there is a rise in the temperature. So this will also comes into the another characteristic, and that is change in temperature. So both of the characteristics are shown by this particular reaction. So you can see here that this is a one reaction, but the characteristic shown by them, it is of a two characteristic of a chemical reaction. Any other? Yes, we can take another example in which the two characteristics can be shown. So the first one, so the next one is the PbNO3 whole twice, which is a lead nitrate. When it reacts with the potassium iodide, then there is a formation of a PbI2. PbI2 is what, students? Plus KNO3. Is a yellow precipitate. So with the help of this only we are able to tell that what kind of a changes happens here. You can see that in this one, if we talk about this precipitate, explains the formation of PPT, precipitate. Formation of a precipitate. This is the first characteristic. And the color which is determined here is the yellow. So before that, the color was not yellow. It was simply colorless. But after that, after the formation of the product, there is the formation of a precipitate with a color, or a colored precipitate is formed. So this is also an example of a change in color characteristic. So you can see that here also in this reaction, two types of a characteristic can be shown. First one is the formation of a precipitate, and the second one is the change in color. So by these two chemical reactions, we have understood here one thing, that it is not necessary that one particular reaction will show only one characteristic, but a reaction can show more than one type of a characteristic. Okay, but it will show the characteristic of a chemical reaction. Okay, so if the question is asked that justify that how a chemical reaction can show more than one characteristic, so you can write these two reactions and explain that what happens here and how it helps in telling the particular characteristic of a chemical reaction. Moving on and see the next topic. So this all is the characteristics of a chemical reaction. So till that, students, we had discussed about in this chapter we have started with the chemical reaction. Okay, although there are a lot of different chemical reactions that we are going to study in the same chapter, but we have understood till now that what do we understand by a chemical reaction and how we can say that yes, here a chemical reaction takes place. So with the help of the characteristic, we can say that. Now, we have to understand that what is this equation? Okay, or what is the chemical equation? So let us try to understand about a chemical equation. Chemical equation. So chemical equation, students, before that let me write a chemical reaction. Suppose if we are writing a reaction in which zinc is reacting with the sulfuric acid. So we can write it like zinc plus sulfuric acid. This will form zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. So this is the one way to represent, to tell that okay, this is the reaction. Is this the correct way? No. We have to write it in the form of an equation, and how we will come to write it? With the help of the symbol or formula. So the symbol of the zinc is Zn. The symbol of or the formula of the sulfuric acid is S2SO4, and the formula of a zinc sulfate is ZnSO4, and that of a hydrogen is H2. So when we represent represent a chemical reaction in its symbol or in the formula, that particular reaction is called as a chemical equation. Okay, it means representing a chemical reaction in its formula or symbol, that is a chemical equation.